Hi, this is Greg Canda, Director of Professional Services and Solutions Engineering for omniQ. And today I'm talking with John Wirthlin from Zebra, who is an industry principal. John, why don't you give yourself a brief introduction and what you do for Zebra?
Hey, Greg, thanks for having me. So, I'm an industry principal focusing on manufacturing, transportation, and logistics. And what I do is I work with our customers to understand their strategic objectives and identify relevant solutions, whether it's Zebra solutions, partner solutions like omniQ, or just solutions in the industry that will be helpful to help them realize their short, medium, and long-term goals.
Great. And we have been a long partner of Zebra, and indeed you're our largest partner with the greatest amount of success with just a tremendous number of joint customers. And we really appreciate your guidance, your partnership, and of course your products and support. And there's a number of topics I wanted to talk to you about to get your perspective on what's going on in the market and in the industry. So you had mentioned warehouse distribution, et cetera, and there's many different technologies that we use now with Zebra. Overall in the industry, what do you see as the various growth between, for example, the barcode systems that we've been using for decades, as well as things like hands-free or even the heads-up display, vision, et cetera? What do you see as the biggest new factors and the biggest areas of growth?
Well, it's been very interesting. We actually did a warehousing vision study in 2019, pre-pandemic, keep in mind, and a lot of our customers were focusing on, barcoding, voice systems in the warehouse, and then starting to look at sensing technology like RFID. And then, as that progresses, we have a warehouse maturity model that kind of shows a progression from left to right, right most being, artificial intelligence, machine learning. And most people were kind of in that, just starting to look at an RFID, but we asked them, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And the biggest growth area by far was really exploring auto sensing technology like RFID, whether it's passive, active, or things like that. So I would say the biggest growth that we're seeing, even with the pandemic now, is with RFID because our customers are being asked to do more throughput, especially in e-commerce, with less people, as you know, with labor shortage that the pandemic has faced with challenges. Our
Mhm.
customers got to figure out how to do it more efficiently. So definitely, I call hands-free scanning, auto identification. Those are really the big ones. And then kind of behind that would be, looking at mobility, right? How do I provide mobility to my customers or my workers, if you will, put that in their hands and then start reducing keystrokes. So we start getting into heads-up display, putting information in line with the customers and understanding where they are within that facility.
So with regards to the RFID, we've had many different systems that we work with RFID with Zebra products. And often we are getting more questions at omniQ about how to implement RFID. And I see a big disparity at times between what people want to do and what they're really ready to do. So when
Mhm.
you approach a customer about RFID, what are the steps that you take in order to properly um, validate the account, validate what the requirements are, and validate the ROI for them?
You bet. That's actually very, very key. What I usually look at is two main questions. One is the asset that you're tracking, is it valuable enough to warrant a technology like RFID? Um, and also, is it large enough to tag appropriately so that it can be read at a large enough distance? So it's, size of the product and then the value. Um, for instance, my my normal saying is, I probably wouldn't pay 10 cents for a label to track a pencil, but I may pay 10
Mhm.
cents to track a pallet or a case of pencils, which are, obviously bigger to tag as well as, there's more value there. So, and
Mhm.
the other thing is we're finding that the cost of RFID and the risk, the perceived risk, is much lower now than it was, let's say, 5 years ago. 5 years
Mhm.
ago, I would consider our customers would consider it rather RFID, and I would agree that it was more of a science experiment, right? Not a lot of known implementations, widespread, a lot of risk, a lot of misinformation, right? But the technology has matured by leaps and bounds, and I'd say the last 3 to 4 years, as well as the cost of the tags have gone down. So the capital investment isn't as risky now, and then the ongoing cost of tags is much lower than it was, 5 years ago, which makes a very, very attractive business case from an ROI perspective.
Yeah, you brought up two very good points about the cost of the infrastructure and what's required and the cost of the tags and relevance to the need for the tracking of the individual item. One of the other aspects that I've also known that has been at times challenging for a customer is the cost of the data and the cost of the software, because tracking with RFID, actually tracking individual items more than you're trying to track just how many of this particular product. And then is the question, is the software ready for it? How has Zebra approached those data and software questions?
Well, we have implemented several different kind of data lake, if you will, approaches to capturing this edge data. We have a platform called MotionWorks Enterprise. And the unique thing about MotionWorks Enterprise is it allows capture of data from passive RFID, from a active RFID, Bluetooth energy, not only Zebra products, but also other technologies. So we can take all that edge data that we're capturing, whether it's something coming into a warehouse to automate a receiving transaction, or doing a cycle count in a particular area of the warehouse. We can take that information and adjust that data into a single repository so that can be leveraged throughout various different applications. And that MotionWorks Enterprise not only serves as the data capture platform where it's kind of siphoning things in, but it's also serving as the integration to other systems. And we're able to install that at an enterprise level, as well as we're coming up with ways to also manage that RFID infrastructure remotely. So previously, or currently, really, the assumption is that you would put a data capture server in each facility, at least, to be able to hook up the infrastructure to that, to get those reads. But now we are starting to come out with a remote option that allows you to capture that remotely, so that edge server, if you will, can potentially be eliminated, which when you think about large national, regional, even global organization, that cost of ownership becomes much lower.
And omniQ is very happy to be a partner with Zebra on the MotionWorks Enterprise. We are indeed trained on it. We have a MotionWorks Enterprise server installed in our Salt Lake City headquarters. We also have the RFID Edge types of products, for example, in one of our offices in Anaheim. And we tie those in together and even communicate with the Savannah data warehouse. So I encourage for anybody who's watching this that is interested in how to expand their RFID to contact us about it and contact Zebra, and we'll take a look at the solution. So you had mentioned briefly, and I know this isn't part of today's conversation, you mentioned briefly about vision that you have also in manufacturing and warehouse and some new products. I am glad to say, and John, I don't think I had a chance to update you on this, we are also now approved to work on those systems. As you know, we have two divisions, one which is the omniQ Mobility and one which is omniQ Vision, where we bring our technology, which is artificial intelligence, machine learning, machine image capture, in recognizing systems like security, safe city, parking, for example, in LaGuardia Airport and over 40 airports across the U.S. So, we are really trying to bring both of these sides together with the Zebra products between RD and Vision, Zebra's Vision products, our Vision products, etc. So let me, for example, give an idea of how we're planning our Vision systems along with MotionWorks Enterprise and yard management. We have done yard management systems before with collaborative partners with the software. that take a look at the tracking of trucks, tracking of trailers, etc., with RFID. And now we're happy to work with Zebra's yard management system in order to do the RFID tracking. But we already use our vision systems at the entrance and at the exit in order to see the trucks and the trailers as they're coming in and leaving, and can apply that same vision technology using our cameras and our image recognition in the inventory for the trucks that are in the yard by driving around and seeing all the trucks, as well as dock doors and motion throughout the environment. So that augmentation of the RFID and MotionWorks software, along with our artificial intelligence and our software, really unites the two together quite well.
You bet. That I think that's what our partner program, especially with a strong partner like OmniQ, that's the strength, right, between our partnership. We offer a lot of technologies. We partner with our force, our reseller force, our channel partners like you, to understand what's the right solution for that customer. We work really closely together. You mentioned the yard management. It's really interesting to understand how a customer needs to use technology, right? Do we need to be able to track exactly where that truck is in the yard at all times? Or do we just need to know when that truck came in or came out of the yard, or which dock door it's going to and when it got there, right? So when you ask those different questions, different solutions may lend themselves, in whatever situation you're doing. Another thing, when you think about RFID and these tracking technologies, do you want to know where something was? What was the last scene that it entered into an area, such as a yard, right? Or into a dock area? Or do you want to know that it's there all the time? Do you have a high value asset or maybe a controlled asset that you need to really understand the chain of custody and know every 10 minutes where something's going to be? Those are questions that great channel partners like OmniQ understand their customer and understand what questions to ask in order to fit them with a solution that's going to meet their needs now. And also, that's what I love about my role, is trying to understand, where's that customer's journey? Where are they going to be in 5, 10 years from now? So that we're not boxing you into a corner with a solution that's going to meet your needs now, not understanding where that customer wants to go in the future. And it's interesting that the visioning technology that we just launched is very interesting, because I just had my first vanity plate on my car that I got about 6 months ago, and I noticed when I got my parking ticket, not parking ticket, I did something wrong, but parking ticket that I paid at the airport. I looked at it, and sure enough, there's my Silver Surfer ID that your system picked up at the Detroit airport. So I've been saving this for this opportunity, Greg, to say your systems are live and well, and it's amazing. On a serious note, that how many lives these solutions affect on a daily basis. It's quite awe-inspiring, and it makes me feel good about the business that we're in.
Absolutely. Detroit is indeed one of the locations where we have our systems installed in order to do the license plate recognition. And yes, that was us. But yeah, the way that we're using it in schools, in universities, not only for ticketing and parking and permitting, but also along with the police in order to keep our environment safe. It's a lot different than just what we started with originally. And that's one of the things that I'm pleased with about the growth of both Zebra and OmniQ. OmniQ, I think, is rather unique compared to many of the partners, because we have a very vertically integrated solution. We develop the cameras. We develop the artificial intelligence to do the license plate recognition. We develop the aggregation of the data. We develop the cloud-based computing in order to keep track of permitting and tracking against police BOLO lists, etc. And then we integrate also the great products and their software. For example, Zebra's RFID, Zebra's mobile devices, Zebra's tablets that go into the police cruisers, and of course things like Zebra MotionWorks and soon your machine vision products on the industrial side. So we have the capability all the way down to, say, for example, one of our joint customers is we're in the process of rolling out a second wave of over 4,000 devices where we are using our software and integrating that software and also acting as a complete single point for all the services. Um, so we're very pleased to work with you guys on that, even front ending the services, meaning that the customer deals with us, they track the location, they are interfacing to our system, which also interfaces to the um, uh, visibility IQ system from Zebra for the RMAs and for the tracking and the support. We're doing all the RMA repurposing the spares, the spare in the air to automatically send out a new provision system. So we're working very closely with Zebra on that. And in this last go around, not that things in the past were at all bad, but we were on several calls where the customer was just overwhelmingly um, uh, pleased with the Zebra and the omniQ performance of how we really work together to make this rollout, which is really sophisticated over multiple countries, multiple locations, and tracking them all and handling them all seamlessly. So thanks again for your partner on that.
Right, and you couldn't have summed it up any better, Greg. We are again honored to be the leader in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for sensing technology. But that's because of our partners. That's because of the OmniQs of the world that gives us that force multiplier. When we look at global things, we provide that global strategic thought leadership, but our ability to execute locally, those two combined with OmniQ, is the reason that we're in that space within Gartner's leadership quadrant, right? It's not just because of all the Zebra people here. It's because of the combination and the partnership with our channel partners like you with OmniQ. So we appreciate that, and the fact that we build the best devices that there are on the marketplace. There's lots of customers that I talk to that are that way. I was a customer back 20 years ago that I reached out to at that point, Symbol, and they were just simply the best devices. But the fact that we have evolved in our thinking, in our software, that it's not just the devices, right? It's about combining the sensing technology to know, all right, I'm looking at our order management system and understanding what I need to pick at this particular time of day. Somebody just canceled something, so that's changed, right? These are all real-time things. The time where we printed out a pick list at the beginning of a shift and gave it out, and we serpentine through the warehouse thinking that we were the cat's meow, right? Because we were able to put that pick list in row rack bin order. That was great, but my God, the market isn't like that. That worked when customers had an expectation to get their products in 3 to 5 business days. Now customers want them the same day, if not
Wow,
maybe
that's
next day,
fast.
right? Exactly. So understanding in that artificial intelligence to know what changes real time in the order management system, what's affecting that truck that's coming in that's late because of weather, where are the assets, where are the products within the warehouse, where are the people, where are the forklifts, putting that together with artificial intelligence and be able to provide real time direction in simple terms in line with the worker's position and the state of the ecosystem is really what is moving the needle with our customers. And you're talking about how you developed some of that artificial intelligence, and the partnership with us is really what enables us to provide that performance edge for our customers. So thank you for that work. It's very exciting, Greg.
Well, your breadth of products across Zebra means that we used to have to go to one place for one set, one place for another set, another place for another set, and your broad line of products really gives us a good leg up on having continuity throughout the environment. And it may sound a wee bit hokey, but I like to talk about us being experts in time and space and the management of time and space. And that's really what we're trying to work out here is how do you get the management of your inventory, the management of your motion, the management of where the product is in a timely fashion where one company, as you mentioned earlier, might need to have something real time, but another might just need to have it every 10 minutes or every day or whatever. So that management of time and space, if you will, with the Zebra products is really what has helped us being successful up to this point and continuing even further with all your new products.
Yeah, you bet. You're right on. Not every customer has to have real-time solutioning and artificial intelligence, and that's kind of what our warehouse maturity model shows. It's kind of a five phase approach, and it's not that every customer has to go from phase 1 to phase 5. And if they don't, they're not going to be competitive. It's where do you feel that you need to be now? Where do you feel that you need to be 5 years? Let us work with you to put together a roadmap strategically that we can partner together, right? At Zebra in my role, I don't want to be just the person that sells the hardware, right? That's not where Zebra's at. That's not where our partners are. We really want to be a partner with our customer. We want to be in those strategic discussions. And if our customers invite us into those discussions, they find value with that. So it's a great approach.
Well, John, it's been a joy to talk with you again. I'm sure we'll be talking again as we have these new products and new technologies as both of our continue to evolve. Just wanted to thank you again for the many years of great partnership and great products, and looking forward to much more success in the future.
You bet. Thanks, Greg. And next time I see you, I'm looking for a signature on this. This is going to get framed and put in my display case somewhere.
Will
Thanks
do.
a lot.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure to visit with you.